Welcome to the Workday HR and Payroll for Fiscal Staff course. In this module, we'll be taking a closer look at the edit position restrictions and edit position workflows. We'll be discussing your role as the cost center manager or as a member of the RRC in the flow, and we'll be showing a brief demonstration of the review and approval step in Workday. Edit position restrictions and edit position. While they are two standalone processes, together they support the reclassification process. For job management roles, the reclassification process is completed through only the edit position process. Reclassification is not the only reason to utilize the edit position restrictions process. The process may also be used to prepare a position for posting. Before we get into the processes, let's step back and review some of the key terminology. The most foundational element in Workday HCM is the job profile. It is the profile that defines the features and characteristics of a job. These were formerly known as job codes. Attributes of job profiles may include the following: job profile summary, FLSA status, compensation grades. These define the broader compensation range for a similar grouping of jobs. Compensation grade profiles. These are a breakdown of a compensation grade by functional task or some other applicable categorization. Pay rate type. This indicates if the job profile is hourly or salary. And there are also attributes related to the career roadmap, such as job category, which is the function and subfunction, management level, which is career band, and job level, which is career level. There are two staffing models in Workday: position management and job management. The position management staffing model is a structure that defines different staffing roles and restrictions for each position in an organization. Position management organizations are staffed by creating, defining, and filling positions. A position is described as the chair that a worker fills when he or she is hired. The chair remains, even when the worker leaves, for example, through a job change or separation. This graphic shows what the process may look like. This staffing model provides the tightest control over hiring, as different staffing rules and restrictions can be specified for each position. This would be utilized for many non-student positions, for example, faculty, staff, and health system intermittent, such as internal resources pool nurses. Now we'll take a look at the job management staffing model. The job management staffing model is a structure that defines one set of hiring restrictions for all jobs in a supervisory organization, with no specific limits on the number of jobs that can be filled. When an employee is hired into a job management role, they fill a specific job. If the employee leaves the organization, their specific role will not remain available for another individual. They take their chair with them. This graphic shows what the process may look like. The job management staffing model provides greater flexibility over the definition of individual positions and management of positions in Workday than the position management staffing model does. The hiring restrictions you define apply to all jobs in the supervisory organization, and you can define only one set of hiring restrictions per organization. In addition, with job management, you don't set specific limits on the number of jobs that can be filled, but limits will arise due to budget availability. This model is particularly useful for organizations that prefer to define broad job requirements and rely on staffing workflows and approvals to control the number of workers in a supervisory organization. This would be utilized for all student positions and campus intermittent. Examples are as follows: grad, undergrad, fellows, and campus intermittents such as public safety auxiliary law enforcement officers, athletic ushers, FAES for farm science review, and others may fall into this category as well. Now that we have covered the staffing models used, we will cover the reclassifications of positions within these staffing models. Reclassifications are defined as when a position changes significantly to warrant a change from one job profile to another. The reclassification process is used if an individual remains in the same position and that position changes to make it greater than, lesser than, or equal to promotion, demotion, or lateral. However, lateral and demotions are not as common. This occurs when an individual's scope changes, but the type of work remains the same. This may sound similar to the change job process, but they are not the same. Change job is used for modifications that occur to an employee's job. An example of change job would be if an individual moved from a talent acquisition consultant role to an HR consultant role. A reclassification example would be if an employee was working in a communications associate role and was promoted with additional duties to become a communications senior associate. In this example, they are staying in the same position and chair, but their responsibilities are adjusting. The process will normally occur from a promotion or change in responsibilities. Management level or higher roles should not go through the reclassifications process. They should go through the recruit to hire process to change roles. Reclassifications are the combination of two standalone processes: edit position restrictions and edit position. When going through these processes for a reclassification, they will go in the order of 1. Edit position restrictions, and 2. Edit position. As mentioned, there are two business processes involved with the reclassifications process: 1. Edit position restrictions, and 2. Edit position. Edit position restrictions is the process where you are changing the position itself. This may include changes to the default compensation, pay group, or organization assignments. This may also be used prior to the recruit to hire process if the requirements and details of the job need to be changed. Edit position is the process where you take that position and apply the updates to the worker in the position. This may include compensation changes or organization assignment changes. These changes would not automatically be carried over from the edit position restrictions task. For job management reclassifications, this will be the only process. An example of this would be if a student was moved from Student Assistant 1 to Student Assistant 2. This is a stricter process and is not often used. In the position management staffing model, every individual in the model is assigned a chair. Edit position restrictions is editing the chair itself. Edit position is syncing the changes to the chair to the worker that it is assigned to. In the current state, edit position restrictions can be equated to the position table. Edit position can be equated to the job data table. As mentioned before, edit position restrictions is used to make updates to the existing position or chair. It is not used to make updates to the worker, if applicable, within the position. This process may be performed ad hoc or in partnership with other processes. As mentioned previously, it will be used for reclassifications in combination with edit position. This would be a precursor step to creating a new job requisition to ensure that the position restrictions are correct prior to posting if they need to be edited. This would need to occur if the requirements and details of the job need to be changed for any reason other than reclassification. The second two types mentioned will not require edit position changes, as the reclassification will. There are 5 key roles involved in the edit position restrictions process. 1. Manager or manager liaison. 2. HR consultant. 3. Compensation approver. 4. Cost center manager. 5. Employee. The manager or manager liaison will be responsible for initiating the request for the edit position restrictions. If it is for a reclassification, they will also provide details on the reasoning, as well as the old and new position description. The HR consultant is an involved partner in the edit position restrictions process. They may be involved in the pre-Workday conversations around the request. The HRC will review the request to ensure it aligns with the conversations, college and unit, as well as the HR guidelines. When the request is a part of a reclassifications process, the HRC will also be notified at the end of the edit position restrictions to initiate the next step in the process, edit position. The compensation approver will approve the edit position restrictions request when certain conditions are met. These will be covered next. The cost center manager will approve based on college or business unit guidelines. If the request is not for a reclassification, the employee may need to sign a new position description document. Here is the edit position restrictions process. Step 1. The manager will have conversations with college or business unit leadership, as well as with HR. This should include fiscal staff. Step 2. The manager initiates the change in Workday. Step 3. If applicable, the manager updates the default compensation, pay group, and organization. Step 4. HR consultant approves the edit position restrictions request and, if applicable, default compensation, pay group, and organization assignment. Step 5. If the process is not a part of the full reclassifications process, the executive compensation consultant or compensation analyst may review the edit position restrictions request. Step 6. Cost Center Manager Approval. You should verify proper work tag usage and send back to the initiator if there are any changes that need to be made. Step 7. If the process is not part of the full reclassifications process, employee may need to sign a new position description document. Step 8. If there is a job profile change, the HR consultants will receive a to-do to initiate the edit position task. Let's take a look at an example. An employee in your college or unit has been given increased responsibilities. Due to this change in responsibilities, the manager would like to edit the employee's position restrictions to reflect their new role. In this case, the employee's position requires a new job profile and therefore will be a reclassification. This will also result in an increase in the default compensation for the position. A job reclassification is a combination of both the edit position restrictions process and the edit position process, which will happen next. I am currently signed in as Raymond Studer, a cost center manager. I'm going to navigate to the inbox and select the edit position restrictions request. Please note that you will not have the option to edit the details on this request. If something needs to be edited, you will need to send this back to the initiating manager or the HR consultant. I'm going to scroll down to the Details to Review section. Here, I will review the organization the position sits in. I will also review the position restrictions the request is being initiated for. I'll ensure that the effective date is correct. I will also ensure that the position change reason is correct and aligns with the expectations. I will confirm the job posting title, and afterwards I'll review the job description. Here is where I would also review any qualifications if applicable to the position. They would only appear if any are listed on the position. Next, I will review the compensation basis amount changes. Please note that if no changes were made to the compensation basis items, this table would be hidden. It can always be viewed through the More Details button. To open it in a new tab, right-click on the button and select View in New tab. Here, I will review the proposed percentage increase in the total base pay. I will also review the proposed amount increase in the total base pay and the proposed total in the total base pay. The default compensation for a salaried employee should reflect a value of 100% FTE and not a lesser FTE amount. Next, I will go to the plan assignment changes. Please note that similar to the compensation basis items, if no changes were made to the compensation plan assignment, this table would be hidden. It can also be viewed through the More Details button. Here, I will review the plan type and proposed changes, and I will ensure this is aligned with the job profile. Lastly, I will go to the comments section. Here, I will review the comment from the manager listing the previous and new job descriptions. I'll review any attachments the manager may have included. I will ensure that the new job description accurately reflects the role of the individual and that the justification is aligned with the request. If you approve of the request, click Approve. This concludes the first part of this demonstration. The edit position process is used to update an employee's information to the information listed within the position restrictions. This is where HRCs can take the position and apply the updates to the worker in the position. This may include the compensation changes and organization assignment changes. These changes would not automatically be carried over from the edit position restrictions task. Thinking back to the position management staffing model, every individual in the model is assigned a chair. Edit position restrictions is editing the chair itself. Edit position is syncing the changes from the chair to the worker that it is assigned to. Edit position may be used as a standalone process for reclassifications for job management roles. This could include changes to student workers or lecturers who go from temp to regular. For position reclassifications, there are many roles either always involved or sometimes involved in the edit position process. 1. HR consultant. 2. A compensation approver. 3. Cost center manager or RRC. 4. Employee and labor relations coordinator. 5. Health and welfare coordinator. 6. Manager or manager liaison. 7. Employee. The HRC will play a significant role in the edit position process. They will initiate the process, update the job profile, update the compensation and organization assignments if applicable. The applicable compensation approver will approve based on the changes to the position. This will be based on the position type and compensation changes, if applicable. The cost center manager or RRC will approve the edit position if necessary due to an FTE change. They will ensure that the changes align with their college or business unit guidelines. The employee and labor relations coordinator will update the union membership if the individual moves from a union to non-union job, or vice versa. The health and welfare coordinator will update the benefits information if there are impacts based on the position change. The manager or manager liaison will update the alternate work location if needed. The employee will sign the position description document. The edit position process will occur following the edit position restrictions process. Step 1. HR consultant receives a to-do in their inbox to edit position. This will occur after the position restrictions are edited. They will update the following. The effective date. This date should equate to the date that the changes should take effect. For CCS, this must be the first day of the next pay period. They'll ensure that the reason matches the edit position restrictions, and they'll update the job profile, which needs to match the edit position restrictions. For retroactive reclassifications, there will be a pause between steps 1 and 2 as a step runs in the background. Step 2. HR consultant reviews and updates the compensation. This will default in based on the default compensation from the position restriction. Step 3. HR consultant reviews and updates organization assignments. These will need to align to the position restrictions. Step 4. Compensation approver approves. Step 5. For FTE changes, the college or business unit cost center manager or RRC will approve. Step 6. If applicable, the employee and labor relations coordinator will update the union membership. This will be for union to non-union jobs. Step 7. If applicable, the health and welfare coordinator or employee will update benefits information. Step 8. If applicable, the manager will receive a to-do to enter or update alternate work location. This will occur if the employee is remote. Step 9. The employee will sign the position description document. All position reclassifications will require that the employee review and sign a new position description. Let's take a look at an example. After the edit position restrictions process is completed, your HR consultant will initiate the edit position task for the employee reclassification. If there is a change in the FTE status for the employee, you will receive a task in your inbox to review the edit position request. Within the inbox item, you will see all of the information from the edit position task, as well as the subsequent compensation change and change organization assignments task, if applicable. I am currently signed in as Raymond Studer, a cost center manager. I'm going to navigate to the inbox and select the edit position request. Please note that you will not have the option to edit the details on this request. If something needs to be edited, send this back to the initiating HR consultant to update the position, compensation, or organization assignments. I'm going to scroll down to the Details to Review section. First, you will see the staffing information. Not all of the staffing information will be listed here. For additional information, click on the More Details button. Within the staffing information that you can see here, review the current position and worker. Also, look at the position change reason, and other important items to review are the FTE percentage. Next, you'll review the compensation information. As noted here on the page, the following information reflects the specific compensation data that was changed by the transaction. Within the tables below, start by looking at the compensation basis amount changes and reviewing the proposed changes in the total base pay and total salary and allowances. You'll also want to look at the proposed changes within the guideline changes table. Lastly, within the compensation information, look at the plan assignment changes and proposed changes. After reviewing the compensation information, you'll review the organization assignments. Here, you'll review the organization type, the current organization, and the proposed organization. Ensure that the organization assignments are correct, as these will have important reporting implications. Review all of the organization assignments listed here, starting with the costing company. At this point, we are done reviewing the edit position request. If there are any updates that need to be made, you'll select Send Back and provide a reason for why the request would need to be updated, or deny the request. If applicable, enter any comments or additional information in the box provided. If the request should be approved, click Approve. This concludes the demonstration. Thank you so much for attending the session today. Please reach out with any questions or concerns that you may have about the materials we've covered.